Sing along to the theme music. It's Kevin Kenny. This is the Build Series live in New York City. And our guests today are readying a brand new album for you this fall. And they're nice enough to stop by Build Series today in the middle of a bunch of actually international festival dates this summer. Please give it up for Yellow Claw.
What's up, guys?
We were just admiring your work in studio, watching kind of an old music video at this point, right?
This one's pretty old, but it actually is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was cool. Are you guys
all over the place.
hands-on with the visuals?
Yeah, pretty much.
So? Yeah.
We were just talking about it. In the early days, Jim did everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you have a visual background, or like did you just always... Yeah.
I'm actually a movie director.
Are you?
Yeah, that's how I started.
Did you ever study film or anything like that?
I did, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah. I made a couple of movies, too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
This is actually what got us ahead. Like, we could create, like, these amazing videos in the early days of Yellow Claw with, like, you know, like 10% of the budget.
Really?
It's like, you know, unknown guys.
Dude, how did you two meet? Because everything I've read and everything I've seen, I don't know how that's been just glossed over, but how did you two actually just link up initially?
We told so many fake stories these last 5-6 years, just to screw around with people.
Yeah.
We actually met in on a party in Amsterdam, which we always played. It was like every Sunday. It was like the party of Amsterdam for those 4 or 5 years. And then we met up because they had so many DJs for that anniversary edition, and they would link us up, and we would play. And after a while, we're like, oh shit, this was way more fun than DJing on your own.
Well, why was it more fun?
Holland's pretty small, so you have to drive everywhere. So it was just like all these like drives, like sitting, and he had a car actually.
Yeah.
That was good looking, and he had a car. I was like, oh shit, that's my new partner. But we used to be like hip hop DJs.
Hip hop DJ.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that really the foundation?
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's funny because when I hear your music, I wanted to ask you guys if you were ever into heavy metal as kids, because I feel like it just like structurally these songs, right? Like of course you guys make electronic music, but a lot of it just reminds me of just like, you know, a real heavy chorus or a real like, you know, big guitar breakdown. Were you guys ever into heavy music like that, or was it always hip hop growing up?
I was into like rock music as a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of rock bands, right, just traditional bands, right, like you might link up with somebody because, well, hey, I play guitar and I need a bassist, or oh, we need a drummer, right? What makes it obvious that you should work together as DJs, right? Where you may do more similar things than say like, you know, instrumentalists.
I think at a certain point we both like have been DJing like a lot of hip hop stuff for a couple of years, and there was this like new emerging electronic music coming up,
right?
And it was definitely something I wanted to like sort of, I don't know, like discover or like get into. But we already had like in Holland we had like established DJ names as a hip hop DJ, so we just took on like a project with another name to like go a little bit harder and mess around with dubstep, mess around with like broken beat stuff, drum and bass, like the early Moombahton stuff.
Yeah, and the very early trap stuff.
Yeah.
Which was like, you know, just rap stuff and like, you know.
Yeah.
And then we started like playing those instrumentals, and we just kind of went from there. Like these instrumentals without the rap vocals work so well.
Right.
Like we could make this as well, like, you know, make them of our own.
What was the hip hop scene like in Holland at that time? Was it thriving? Were you guys pioneers of sorts? Was it? I mean, now of course.
Honestly, no. I don't really think the hip hop scene was like super thriving. It was just the only thing that was played in the clubs.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing really.
It was like hip hop stuff, or you had like these big raves, like house parties, more like house music, like. And we just started mixing those things up, like doing like hip hop stuff and like I said, with the early trap stuff, the dubstep stuff. It's like there was a certain point where we found out like, oh, wait a minute, all this dubstep, hardstyle stuff is 150 BPM, and all these like hip hop joints are like 75. So you can actually mix those.
Totally.
And that was like a big mental breakthrough actually. It became a breakdown later.
Yeah. What you guys have such a creative ear for collaborations, because I think of a song that I love from you guys, "In My Room" with Ty Dolla $ign from a couple years back, right? And I think if you're talking to a rapper or an R&B artist and they want Ty to hop on a track, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because this would work with him. But you guys take somebody like Ty Dolla $ign, you put him on a song like "In My Room," which you would never guess to be a Ty Dolla $ign song. So when you're choosing collaborators, right? Like, what is it? Let's just use that example, right? Like, what is it about Ty where you go, he would work well on this song?
I think he had that first stuff out back then. He was like really already popular in like the underground scene.
Yeah.
But what we always try to do, if it was like a Pusha T or we did a A$AP Ferg song a few years back, is trying to get them on our sound. and a lot of times that like didn't work. Like a lot of like rappers or vocalists go like, I don't really fuck with these beats, or this is like.
And also sometimes we
crazy.
just would like trick them because we
Yeah.
send them something. We would make something like a special demo for them, which was more like their style.
Yeah.
And they would like be comfortable and like writing music on there, send us their vocals. We throw away the demo, and then we make some stuff on our own, and we send it over. And most of them they go like, wow, okay,
It's so much better, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they really like it. It's funny.
Was there? Can you point to a specific? Maybe it's a time period, or maybe even an instance of a song where you sort of there was that turning point in terms of hip hop accepting you more readily, where you didn't maybe have to convince somebody. Because now I feel like they want to be on EDM tracks.
Like
You know what I'm saying? Because you do a lot of convincing early on, but now I mean I feel like
True,
jumping
true.
chance.
yeah, but still, a lot of artists wouldn't just jump on a electronic dance track.
Yeah.
Like-
Still skepticism like
Yeah,
this. You feel a
yeah.
little bit.
It's not scab. It's just not something they're used to. So
Yeah.
it's
True to their own product.
But the thing with
Makes
that,
sense.
that specific song was like there was a lot of these like 100 BPM, like twerking songs
Yeah.
in EDM at that point, and we happened to like we met up with Mustard a couple of times.
Totally.
It's like, dude, your stuff, our stuff, this could totally happen.
Well, and he's such an open-minded guy.
He is.
Yeah. I don't think he gets the credit, honestly.
And this was the same thing. He was making 100 BPM like rap stuff. We were making 100 BPM club stuff.
Right.
We're like, we can do this in one song, and it worked like so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny, like the international language of music, like both those songs at the same BPM, they're gonna hit the same.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can dress them up however you want, but it's gonna feel the same. You guys do so much. We were chatting in the back just about fashion. You guys have your own clothing line. You also have your own label now. I was curious if that was. Do you see that as a product of your success in the world of music, or was that always the initial strategy of you guys want to diversify? You want your hands in everything.
It started out with just making stuff we really wanted, and it started out with just making 100 caps. So I don't think we could like actually call it a strategy. It's just something like music we just really love to do. And we can also be honest about that. Like there was a year we really didn't know what to make in terms of clothing. And we just made some stuff we didn't really feel. We throw away, and we produced it, but didn't release it or anything. But now we kind of like found some like new stuff, new angles. We just dropped these crazy like neon yellow tracksuits, which everybody which sees goes like, "What is this? You know,
Right.
what brand?" Is like, "Yeah, we just made them." It's like it's like making music. It's fun creating.
Yeah. What is the compare the creative process of making a song and both of your roles in that to maybe developing something for the fashion line?
I think all of it is at this point just a super luxurious thing of having the time, you know, having the time to get in the studio, having the time like work on like designs, and even like having fabric. It all started like, oh, we want a certain jacket. All right, we can't find those jackets. Oh, this guy has a factory. He can make us 200. All right, let's just do it. Like if you have the ways and the means to do it. And the same thing with music at this point. Like if we need, if like Niels has an idea, he needs like a harmonica player. How do you call that?
Yeah.
On a song, like it's gonna take us like an hour to find somebody and pay him and do it. And even if it sucks, we can still just throw it away. And that creative process, that like creative freedom, is with the label we have now. It's with the clothing. It's the music. It's everything we do now. It's just like it just comes from what we want it to be.
Yeah. What did
There are no boundaries at this point.
Oh no, certainly not.
Also with like the streaming and everything, like radio. At this point, if people want to listen to our music, they'll listen to it.
Yeah.
It's a great age for like weird music.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. There's no more walls anymore. Who inspires you the most in fashion right now? Like, who do you do? Is there anything you see where you're like, wow, they're really doing some cool shit?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm wearing this pants. This is off-white, and I'm not per se a big fan of everything that he does, but I like the grind.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he got so big, so fast.
Totally.
He's like the Martin Garrix of like fashion.
Yeah.
Like it's that's something I just really think is super cool.
Yeah.
and I can respect.
That's interesting. Do you find yourself maybe gravitate more towards like the person behind the fashion as opposed to
because
fashion?
I know how hard he must work. I
Right.
can
And that
only
informs the
imagine.
fashion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And then what about music? Anything you're drawing a lot of inspiration from?
Lately,
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
where do you
know.
want to take it next? Because you,
the last few years have been the same people. I guess it's like guys like Snake or Skrillex.
right.
Just like pioneering like in sort of the same sound we're in.
Anybody outside of your predominant sound though that you're kind of borrowing from?
I listen a lot to this guy called Sue.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like very
TSU.
unknown. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
very unknown with him, but I love how he's creating and how he's like. That's also something of the past 2 years where producers suddenly started to use their own vocals and it was completely okay, and you know,
Yeah.
and that really inspired us to like also like explore those boundaries and everything. It's really
Yeah.
cool. I really love his shit. Yeah.
It's almost like what you're seeing in pop, right? Where songwriters are now becoming like artists as well, and now DJs are actually using their own vocals, which is cool.
Yeah, and you don't even really need like entire songs, right? Nowadays, like if you just like make something like could be very electronic, repetitive with a one sentence, but if it feels good,
Yeah.
people can listen to it on Spotify and choose to listen to it
Right.
instead of it wouldn't make the radio, you know?
You guys like working at different times of the day, is that right? Did I read that?
Yeah, it used to be.
Oh, used to be. Okay.
Yeah.
So now what? You guys on the same page in terms of the same time of day?
Well, no, because a year ago he moved to Bali and I'm still in
Okay.
Amsterdam. So I would do like very boring office hours.
Okay.
Love those. Like,
Yeah.
Go to the gym at 9, go to the studio at 10, and like stop at 6. And he most of the time works at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you? Of course, like a lot of bands that come on the show, they talk about the benefit of recording an album live, all together in studio, right? Do you find any benefit to being together in a studio for electronic music, or do you find that it's not necessary?
Yeah, 100%. We just came off a writing week last week in Bali. So we flew in from Bali to here actually.
Okay.
And this is just like me and Jim with a bunch of songwriters just making like sketches, demos, like like try out new things and everything. So it definitely works because the actual making of the music is one thing, but it's more or less like this great idea or this great angle or something that really inspire you.
Yeah.
Or to inspire the songwriters, hey, like, what do you think of this idea,
Right, right.
Or even just say to each other like he can like play me something. You worked on it for hours, and it's like, nah, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the negative side of it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's still like this day it can hurt, like because it's such a personal thing. He knows it. He's laughing right now because I've been making something and I'm so into it.
But at the same time, like sometimes
week
after
later,
a
I would
week,
say-
you come back and like, yeah, but I did this now. Like, huh? Okay, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or still
I still
no,
don't know,
and then
man.
we just throw it away because that's how it is. There's like we both have to agree on it.
Totally. Would we can call it an album, right? What we're getting in November?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Do
would
we have a
definitely
title
call
for
it an
the album yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. How do you go about naming an album?
Sometimes that's very hard. This time it was hard. The last came easy, but this time it was hard.
Do you guys have, we were just joking about the disagreement sometimes over the creative process. Do you guys ever disagree on album titles?
No.
No, right?
No.
No. No, but this is the thing. We don't like with an album title. You don't want something that just sounds cool.
Right.
You need an idea.
Does it need to encapsulate the actual body of work?
Well,
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But it needs to be like an all-around idea. It needs to sound like a tour. It needs to sound like something that's on a T-shirt.
You're gonna work with
like
it for a year. You
Right.
better make it really good.
So we're 3 months out from November. When do you think you'll name the album?
Oh, we have the title.
we
Oh,
have
you
the
have the
title.
title.
We-
It's
we-
not in?
we-
Oh,
yeah, we
okay,
can't say
gotcha.
yet. No.
Okay. And then there's 2 also big collabs. Can you tease them at all with some pretty big names?
I don't even know.
Yeah, why not?
Do we?
Yeah, why not? So we're very happy. Like last album, we did a song with Quavo.
Yeah.
Now we got his brother. So we got a song with Offset and this girl from where's she from? Era Stravy. She's from Europe, right?
She's from Europe.
No, she lives in London.
Some
I'm just gonna
foreign
say
country.
London. Really cool girl, and so we have a song with those two.
That's
really,
cool.
Really happy.
And
about
have
it,
they
yeah.
ever collabed together? Do you know?
I don't think so.
That's awesome.
No, yeah.
That'll be.
But she's a
fun.
big star in Europe. She's really dope. You should check her out.
Do you know her name?
Era.
Era Stravy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
okay.
you thought I was naming a country.
Estra.
No, I missed the name. I was like, who could it be? That's awesome. Well, very cool, guys. We're gonna get to some studio audience questions right now, and the
Oh,
first is
shit.
gonna come
Sick.
from over here.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
What's up? So, you guys have clearly worked with a lot of different artists, and I was wondering what has been one of your favorite collaborations, and with that, what artists that you've worked with in the past do you want to maybe work with in the future?
The first name that comes to mind with a question like that got to be like Dijon Mustard, because it's just fun working with him, it's also like all over the place. Like there's a lot of people always in the studio, but you know, it's just our sounds work so well together. So that would definitely be my favorite. I don't know about you, Jim.
We had a couple of songs with DJ Snake, like from years back already, like when he actually came by train to Amsterdam. That's always fun. He's a really like, how I say it, like I said earlier, like he's like a pioneering guy.
Yeah, and such a perfectionist. Like,
Well, it's so
That is true.
hardworking, man. Right? Like
Yeah.
you were talking about Garrick's kind of blowing up, but like Snake, man. Like he had a great Billboard cover story, maybe almost a year ago by this point, of just about his grind from just the club days in Paris, and just how early on did you link with him in his journey?
pretty early.
Yeah.
I would say like before his first songs, maybe a year before Bird Machine, or maybe just like
Around that time, yeah.
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 So very early. Like what Jim said, he took the train to Amsterdam just to play our little ADE, like Amsterdam Dance Fan party. For
Yeah.
400 people.
Is that
Sorry about that, man.
Oh shit.
the ringtone?
You like it?
I like it. A quacking
I actually
ringtone.
like this new cover actually better.
That is cool. I gotta get a cover for mine. I just broke mine.
It's really punk.
It matches the pants a little bit. Let's get to the final studio audience question. It'll come from behind me.
Hi, I have a question from our website, buildseries.com. A fan wants to know, what is your favorite song to perform live and why?
It's most of the time it's a new one, because if you haven't heard it that much, it really like gets you going.
This moment right now, it's actually the second song of the album, the new album. 100%. Yeah, goes off.
Or maybe the song with Gamma,
Yeah, that too.
because it's
Yeah,
new.
can we just say the loudest? Yeah. And we always try to go louder every album, so yeah, the loudest.
Do you ever test out a song live at a show, and if it doesn't,
All the time.
Okay, but and if it doesn't hit, do you drop it? Maybe you think about putting it out, but you're like, dude, they weren't feeling that in a couple cities.
Yeah,
let's
you
drop
change it a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what's so cool about electronic music. You know,
But
what I mean? You
But
can
nowadays,
really tinker with
the
it.
changing is sometimes it gets people really annoyed, because they go like, "What happened to the song? What
Right.
about this version or that version?" Like, we have a couple of songs, like 10 different versions,
Yeah,
different drops, different vocals.
that's cool. Well, right on, guys. You guys are. It seems like you're staying busy. You're going to be giving us music all the way up to November, so that's exciting.
We're gonna drop a bunch of new stuff, videos, everything. Yeah.
Do we know when we can get the Offset song? Do we have a release date for that, or is that just coming?
No,
in the
but
near
in
future?
2 weeks we're dropping a song with Saweetie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's exciting as well. You're a big
Yeah,
fan
yeah.
of her.
She's really dope.
That's awesome.
I love the fact that she's resurrecting like all these like old joints and
Oh, dude, the
completely
P.D.
making
Pablo sample.
Crazy,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that was
So
awesome.
sick.
I love hearing
We
that.
played it yesterday as well.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That
What is
sound,
it?
that sound needs to be like come back fully.
Because that's a song like it was big when I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
checking out like MTV
Well, dude, there's
6
certain
years
like
back.
samples or just like, you know, interpolations, whatever you want to call them, and like, or even just riffs from old rock songs. And I'm like, how has that not been sampled or repurposed? So it was cool to see the Freakily come back in a new way. What is the vibe of the Sweetie song? Did you want to take her and keep with that vibe, or you want to do a totally new Yellow Claw thing?
No, this is like pretty much our thing and like with a touch yeah, it's a bit tropical, I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool, guys. All right, one more time for Yellow Claw, everybody.